Padres 360, and we're here with the manager of the Lake Elsinore Storm, with Edwin Rodriguez. Edwin, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, pleasure. Always good to talk about baseball. That's the only thing I can talk to.
That's the only thing?
The only
well, I'm
thing.
sure there's a lot of other things,
yeah,
too.
but I feel confident talking about baseball. No politics, no nothing.
Oh, no,
baseball.
because that's divisive. In baseball, we love. Baseball is a passion. Now, one of the things when I researched you really fascinated me is you actually came up through the Padres system.
Right.
And what was it, last week when you were in Inland Empire, I'd given you a Las Vegas Stars card to sign. I was just curious because you made it up in '84 with the club. What memories do you have of that time? What type of impact was it to be with that group of players?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a great memory. I came over in '83. By the end of '83, John McKeon was the GM. I was with the Yankees. He brought me over, and in '84. I was there with all those guys, Dick Williams, Steve Garvey, I think was there.
Yep,
Alan Wiggins, Templeton, Tony Gwynn for sure. So it was great memory, good athletes, and you can tell, even in spring training, you can tell that team was special. I mean, the way they were counting themselves, the way they were good teammates and all that. So it was a great experience, and for me, it was my second spring training, big league spring training. So it was great having all the superstars, Tony Gwynn, Steve Garvey, Goose Gossage was there, Gray Nettles was there. So it was a good time for me.
He's bringing back a lot of memories of a team that I love. Was there a guy that took you under his wing when you first came up? Who was that guy at that time?
Right, at that time, it was funny because I was with the Yankees first. So I went to spring training with the New York Yankees, and Gray Nettles was there.
Okay.
He never said a word to me.
Interesting. Okay.
And then when we came over, he was the one that said, "Hey, Eddie, good to see you here." So he took me over. So he was a different guy in San Diego. I think it was more like, the East Coast and West Coast, New York, San Diego. He was more relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
And he really helped me out on that.
Well, San Diego definitely a different culture than New York.
It is,
by far.
Yeah.
Now, what eventually got you into coaching? What was the point in time where you knew it's like, I really want to stay in the game and coach as compared to like go on and do whatever or even work in the front office?
Right. When I was done playing, it was around in 1989. The first job that I got offered was a scouting job with the Minnesota Twins. So I got into scouting. And so I did that for 8 years, and then after that, after my second year scouting, I knew what I want to be was a coach. So I was trying to get the on the field job, even with the Twins. So I spent 8 years with them, never got a chance. That was when Tampa Bay they came up in 1997, and they offered me doing both. So I was scouting, and then after the draft, I would go out and manage. So I really enjoy scouting, but definitely, being on the field is way better for me.
Now, I know eventually you got up with the Florida Marlins because you got there and you actually did a really good job there, and I believe you ended up finally resigning. And Jeffrey Lurie is a little bit, I think, too much.
He's different.
He's a different guy.
He's a good person, but different. Let's put it that way.
Now, after that, you transitioned back to the minor leagues, and it seems like you really had a passion there. And of course, you've been working with Team Puerto Rico.
Right.
Now, what was it like coming through with WBC, working with Puerto Rico? Is there any guys that you got to know this time that really maybe had an impact on you as a coach? Somebody that you maybe thought you didn't know him quite as well or whatever? Who's some guys that really stuck out to you?
Well, for the Puerto Rican team, I have to say that Yadier Molina. He's a player that he's not only a player, he's thinking as a manager on the field. And he has some insight of the game, of the hitters, of the defense, of the base running, about everything. He's a guy, eventually he will be a very good manager in the big leagues. That you would say, this is the complete baseball guy. Not only ball player, but baseball guy, because he pays attention to every detail of the game, and how the defense is moving, the base running, everything. So I would say, if I have to point out one guy, I would say Yadier Molina.
Now, coming over here to the Storm, this is your first year, of course, with the club. What are some guys that are currently standing out to you?
Well, we have very good, talented young players, but one guy that I have to say that you can see him being an all-star in the big leagues, I have to say that Javi Guerra.
Okay.
Javi Guerra, Offensively, he's not showing it right now, but defensively, a guy like that, you don't try to teach him, you know, the regular mechanical feeling. You just throw him out there, let him be himself. And he's a guy that he's going to be making an impact in the big leagues.
Well, he's a really good player. I know he was here last year, had his struggles
Right.
or whatever, but it seems like he has a lot of natural
He's
talent.
young. He's young. You take in consideration that he's young. He's Latin, so that with the language also is
Right.
an issue. So but on the field, playing the game, he's the one that you would say this guy is going to spend a lot of years in the big leagues.
And all those critics are out there that are knocking him right now. Listen to his manager, because his manager knows what he's talking about. One last question.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite player growing up? Who are the guys that you really admired?
I have to say Roberto Clemente.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was a guy, not only because he's Puerto Rican, but he's a guy that then talking about complete ball player and complete human being. He was great. He was excellent on the field and off the field. So I have to say Roberto Clemente.
You couldn't have picked a greater one, because he
There you
was on and off the field.
Right.
Some guys are great on the field, not so off the field,
Right,
and vice
right.
versa.
Right.
Edwin, I want to thank you so much for your time.
pleasure.
The Storm are really
My
lucky to
pleasure.
have this man,
Thank you.
and I hope someday that you get back up to the big league
Thank you.
level, maybe with the San Diego Padres. No offense to who's
Who's
there,
that? No.
I have my own bias. So,
Right, but I'm having a great time. This is my passion. I mean, developing players on baseball.
and teaching, do you think it's different teaching here as compared to being at the top level?
It is different. It's different, but then again, when you have young players in the big leagues, the development is still going on. Like that happened to me with the Marlins. But you always teach them, and then if they want to listen, it's always good to have those players.
Awesome. Edwin, thank you for your time.
All right, pleasure.